Hello and thank you for joining us on Nationwide on the NTA. I am Ifoma Ojinta. The recently appointed federal permanent secretaries have been inaugurated. The 8 new permanent secretaries took turns for their oath of office before the president just before the commencement of this Wednesday meeting of the Federal Executive Council. They are to fill the vacant position in the highest cadre of the Federal Civil Service. They are Emanso Umobong, representing Akwa Ibom State, Emeka Obi, Anambra State, Fatima Mahmood, Bauchi State, Mohammed Njuma, Jigawa State, Olubumi Olusoya, Ondo State, and Mariam Keshinro, Zamfara State. Chinyere Akujobi is representing Southeast, while Christopher Ipokwu represents the South-South geopolitical zone. Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Folashade Yemi-Eson, implores the new permanent secretaries to hit the ground running with fresh vigor while making diligence their watchword.
The role of the civil service is very critical in ensuring that the president gets all the results that he needs, and the civil servants are key. And permanent secretaries, being heads of their MDs, must, as a matter of fact, ensure that all the results that Mr. President needs will be seen. And they also must not be seen as bottlenecks to achieving progress. They must make sure that if there are bottlenecks, they should jump, break, whatever they have to do, so to achieve great results for our country, Nigeria.
It's a national call to service to support the government in driving the reforms in the federal civil service and bringing it to a world-class civil service, helping the president to achieve the mandates as outlined in the 8-point agenda, and bring the industries and the ministries to be able to provide effective public service delivery in meeting the national goals of this administration.
A member of the House of Representatives from Ibadan North Federal Constituency, Oyo State, Olaide Adewale Akinremi, has passed on. He died this Wednesday morning after a brief illness at the age of 51. Olaide Akinremi, who was a ranking member of the Green Chamber, served as chairman of the House Committee on Science Research Institutions. House spokesman Akin Rotimi, who announced Akinremi's passage, described him as a mentor to many first-time lawmakers. Speaker, House of Representatives Tajun Abbas, in a condolence message, expressed sadness over the loss of the lawmaker. He says the 10th Assembly will miss Akinremi's unique contributions to nation building. He prays that the Almighty grants his family and loved ones the fortitude to bear the irreparable loss. Meanwhile, the Senate and House of Representatives have adjourned plenary in honor of the late member of the House, Olaide Akinremi. National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikpen reports that it is a tradition of both chambers to suspend our day's plenary and other legislative activities in honor of a demised lawmaker. A 1-minute silence was observed separately in the red and green chambers, after which plenaries were adjourned to Thursday, 11th of July 2024. The presiding officers extended condolences to family members and associates of the late lawmaker.
His legacy of service, compassion, and leadership will continue to inspire us all.
On behalf of the Senate, we condole with the family, the Speaker, and members of the House of Representatives.
On a very sad note, I move that this House do adjourn to tomorrow.
That the Senate does suspend legislative activities for today, and that all items on our order paper be stepped down for the next legislative day.
Aged 51, late Olaide Akinremi represented Ibadan North Federal Constituency of Oyo State as a ranking member of the House of Representatives. He served as chairman of the House Committee on science research institutions. The federal government has approved 150 days duty-free import window for assorted food commodities. Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, in a statement this Wednesday says the suspension of duties, tariffs and taxes covers maize, husked brown rice, wheat and cowpeas. He, however, says the imported food commodities will be subjected to a recommended retail price. Abubakar Kyari also says the federal government will import 250,000 metric tons of wheat and 250,000 metric tons of maize and will be supplied to small-scale processors and millers across the country. To this end, government will provide support to farmers to scale up production during the 2024-2025 planting seasons. The minister says engagement with relevant stakeholders for the purchase of surplus food commodities to restock the National Strategic Food Reserve. He says the ministry is collaborating with sub-national entities to identify irrigable lands and increase land under cultivation. Sultan of Sokoto and President General, Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, Mohammed Saad Abubakar, has lauded the federal government for the 150-day duty-free import window to tackle inflation in the country. The Muslim spiritual leader made the commendation at a meeting with district heads from the 23 local government areas of Sokoto State. Bashir Ibrahim Nababa reports.
In the usual tradition, the engagement was convened to discuss issues bordering on the state and country. Top on the agenda was the rising inflation and skyrocketing of prices of food items as well as other essential commodities in the country. Sultan Muhammad Saad Abubakar described the federal government's 150-day duty-free import window for food commodities, suspension of duties, tariffs and taxes for the importation of certain food commodities through land and seas borders as a welcome development. The initiative, he noted, will help in reducing the persistent rising cost of living in the country. Sultan Saad urged the district heads to continue to do their best in tackling banditry and other security challenges in their domains and called on all Nigerians to continue to pray for the leadership of the country. The Sultan directed the district head of Kilgori, Muhammad Jabi Kilgori, to intimate the meeting on a move by the Sultanate Council to establish Caliphate Microfinance Bank and the need for the district heads to support livestock productivity and resilience support program, LPRES, of the federal government to ensure sustainable peace and food security in the country.
The Caliphate Microfinance Bank is an initiative of the Sultanate Council that wants to assist the downtrodden, the lower communities that need capital, working capital, to be able to enhance their welfare and enhance their business, local, small and medium enterprise.
The meeting later continued behind closed doors. From Sokoto, Bashir Ibrahim Nababa, NTA News.
Nigeria has received additional support from the United States Agency for International Development to accelerate access to electricity in the country. The 115.2 billion naira intervention fund will be expended in critical power infrastructure in the next 7 years, while the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Power, Mahmouda Maman, signs the Memorandum of Understanding for the implementation of the intervention on behalf of the federal government. Melissa Jones signs for United States Agency for International Development.
Nigeria is a special place for us. It has been a critical priority since the beginning and will continue to be so going forward.
USAID intends to launch Empower Nigeria, a new 115 billion naira program to support Nigeria's energy reform and the clean energy transition. This is because we believe in the leadership here.
We are committed to working together to ensure transparency, improve market efficiency, and accelerate the transition to clean energy solutions. This aligns perfectly with our national goals of achieving net zero carbon emissions by year 2060. By working with USAID and leveraging their expertise, we can empower the private sector, strengthen our regulations, and unlock the full potential of our power sector. This will not only bring light to millions of homes, but also unlock economic growth and sustainable development across Nigeria.
Meanwhile, contractors handling the Kaduna power plants are to resume work as federal government resolves all issues that stalled the project for a while. Minister of Power Adebayo Adelabu gave the good news when he inspected the projects in Kaduna. Joshua Ojito reports.
14 years since it began, the Kaduna power plant is yet to be completed.
This is a 215 megawatt power plant located in Kudenda area of Kaduna State, a dual thermal plant that will use both gas and diesel. It has 8 turbines, and when completed, it is expected to power most of the textiles industries here in Kaduna that have gone moribund for many years. The project is at 87% completion.
Several issues stalled its completion, and contractors deserted the site. But there seems to be a ray of hope for the project as it caught the attention of the present administration. So, the Power Minister Adebayo Adelabu leads all stakeholders in the project to the site in Kaduna. All issues addressed, an agreement reached for contractors to return back to site immediately.
The generators are there with the turbines and the transformers are there. You can see that the switchyard is also completed, while we also have a 132, 33 kV switchyard here. So I'm actually impressed, and I'm very optimistic that very soon this project will be completed and Nigerians will start enjoying the output of 215 megawatts of power that will be connected to the national grid. And whatever we need to do to make them realize this completion pledge, we have to do it.
Also coming on stream is another public-private partnership gas-powered plant in Kaduna, and the completion will increase power generation capacity in the country. Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
The Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NELFund, says additional 12 state government-owned tertiary institutions have been added to the student loan application portal. With this addition, the total number of participating state government-owned tertiary institutions is now 48 from the initial 36 announced, while students' data from 120 institutions is outstanding. A statement by NELFund's head, Media and Public Relations, Nasir Ayitogo, says the expansion followed successful submission and verification of data completeness and accuracy required from the institutions. The fund urges all institutions that are yet to submit their students' data to the student verification portal to kindly do so to enable their students benefit from the scheme. Kaduna State government has flagged off a training program for 10,000 teachers on 21st century teaching methodologies. The program, organized by the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, is in line with government's policy on the development of education. Hawal Haliru has more details.
The training program is in line with the state government's policy on the development of education aimed at promoting teaching at the basic level. Notably, more than 7,000 newly recruited teachers employed by Governor Adda will benefit from this training. The teachers will be trained on the latest methodologies to ensure best results in their classrooms.
Education is the bedrock of any progressive society. As we emerge at the dawn of a new era in education in the state, it is imperative that we equip our teachers with the tools and skills necessary to provide world-class education for our children.
The training program covers topics such as digital literacy, critical thinking, and problem solving. The Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education has ensured that the training is tailored to meet the needs of teachers in Kaduna State.
The training program is designed to equip our teachers with the skills and knowledge they need to deliver a 21st century education.
Equip teachers with all
They added that the training program is a crucial step towards improving the quality of education in the state. The teachers are expected to be equipped with the skills and knowledge needed to effectively teach in the 21st century. In Katsina, Awal Halaru, NTA News.
Nigerian Army is keen into the campaign for all Nigerians to explore the numerous potentials in agriculture with the empowerment of wives of officers in poultry farming to augment their means of livelihood. Beneficiaries have already received the poultry facilities and beds while training on the best methods in poultry farming for optimal yield, while optimal yield is in progress.
Just like the days of Green Revolution and Operation Feed the Nation, Nigeria is putting agriculture back in the front burner. Poultry products are one of the major sources of protein, and training on how to maximize the gains inherent in rearing layer birds, which can produce both meat and egg, can guarantee a sustainable means of livelihood, and this Commander 9 Brigade Nigerian Army Brigadier General Adegoke Adetuyi is passionate about. This standalone cage, according to the trainer, has a lifespan of 30 years and can accommodate between 40 and 56 birds depending on the temperature of the region. With the exposure, beneficiaries now have the capacity to run their poultry business with little or no mortality.
This is empowerment, and we are going to sustain it. We are going to make use of it because it will help us to help our family.
With the best, we will put our more effort to enable us do well.
The Commander 9 Brigade Nigerian Army Brigadier General Adegoke and other speakers charged the over 40 beneficiaries to make judicious use of the facility, assuring that the initiative will be sustained.
Ones that are benefiting now are those ones that have shown some level of seriousness in the business. We are encouraging you to show seriousness such that this business is sustained, to ensure that they provide cover for you. So the unit, the COs of the various units will ensure that will be their own contribution to this empowerment program.
Each of the beneficiaries are expected to receive a cage and 20 birds, as well as other incentives as startups. In Lagos, Joel Bukwola, NTA News.
Let's now bring you more reports on Nationwide from our Benin Network Center with Anwali as our guide. Hello, Anwali.
Good afternoon, Ifoma. You're welcome to Benin. The Deputy Governor of Edo State, Godwin Somobayo, says the state government is working towards establishing a division of the State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, in Edo North. He stated this when he paid a condolence visit to Jatu Market, where 5 people lost their lives on Monday under the weight of the falling trees. Akim Etayohai reports.
The entourage of the Deputy Governor, Godwin Omobayo, was received by the representatives of the Ogineni in Council, led by the Daudu one of Uzari, Alhaji Abdurrahman Momodu, at the market.
Has happened. We are using this opportunity to plead with government and see what you can do to help that this market is renovated on good day.
The Deputy Governor, Godwin Omobayo, inspected the level of destruction by the rainstorm. He said his visit is to commiserate with the families of those who lost their loved ones, the entire council area, and those that sustained injuries. He assured the people of the state government's commitment to assist the victims of the disaster. Mr. Omobayo also disclosed that the state government will set up the State Emergency Management Agency in Edo North to cater for such emergency.
SEMA, the state emergency, and the national emergency, they are very good. We do not have the tools. Trust me, before the next 24 hours, we will come with a report that we can look at together and see how we can approach the hotel.
The deputy governor also visited some of the victims receiving treatment in hospital. In Jetu, Akim Etayoha, NTA News.
Edo State government in December 2023 developed its gender policy in line with the federal government gender development plan to address gender equality and gender-based violence. 7 months down the line, the state government is fine-tuning strategies for a more robust outcome. Correspondent Goodluck Inaini, who has been monitoring the progress of the policy in the state, now reports.
The National Gender Policy provides guidelines for mainstreaming gender in various sectors of the economy, with the overall goal of reducing gender inequality for social, economic, and political development. However, records by Global Gender Gap Index ranked Nigeria 138th out of 146 countries and 30th out of 36 countries in sub-Saharan Africa. Domestication of the policy has created a new vista in gender mainstreaming.
Gender inclusion is human rights, right? And then we want to ensure that Edo State is very gender sensitive.
The NBA is playing a very critical role to ensure that we have a much more egalitarian society.
The task before this gender technical working group is to examine cross-cutting topics in broader perspective for effective outcomes in gender implementation process.
It is not just about drafting policies, launching policies. We are here to translate that same policy into action. The hope here is, through this capacity building, that they are able to also sensitize and advocate for these changes and needs within the state.
The overall objective is to educate policymakers in the state on why they need to integrate gender in multi-sectoral interventions across the state. In Benin, Goodluck Inaini, NTA News.
That's a contribution from Benin. We'll take a break. Nationwide will continue in Abuja right after.
Many thanks for staying tuned. Now, a significant milestone in disability advocacy has been achieved as TAF Africa and the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPR, formally signed a Memorandum of Understanding to promote inclusivity in public relations. Gufan Shaji Ugwanyi reports.
Signing of this Memorandum of Understanding marks a significant step towards enhancing the visibility and inclusion of persons with disabilities in the public relations sector. Through this collaborative partnership, TAF Africa and NIPR aim to promote a more inclusive society by advocating for the effective mainstreaming of persons with disabilities in public relations practice.
NIPR is very conscious of inclusivity in all its activities, but we believe that inclusion should be at 5 critical levels or 5 critical components. First is inclusion based on culture and tradition of the people. So the level of the appointment that reflects inclusion is abysmal and very, very worrisome. That is why one of the cardinal objectives of our relationship with NIPR is to strengthen our advocacy. We don't know as much as they do. We want to learn from them. There could be some scientific, more new method of engaging.
This initiative is crucial in highlighting the importance of disability inclusion in the public relations sector and promoting a more inclusive society. In Abuja, Gufan Shaji Ugwanyi, NTA News.
And our Ibadan Network Center is next on our lineup on Nationwide. Larry is our guide. Good to see you, Larry.
You're welcome to Ibadan. Good to see you, Ifoma. In a significant step towards addressing housing deficit and boosting local economy, the federal government is set to generate jobs for more than 6,500 artisans in Oyo State through its Renew Hope 250 units housing estate project. The Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Hamad Dangiwa, stated these at the groundbreaking of Renewed Hope Estate in Oyo State. Ayomiku Ajibola has the details.
Spread on 30 hectares of land and about 20 minutes drive from central Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, the renewed hope 250 housing estate was flagged off by the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Dangiwa, with the Oyo State Governor, Seyi Makinde, who was represented. The estate is expected to have 50 units of one-bedroom, semi-detached bungalows, 150 units of two-bedroom, semi-detached bungalows, and 50 units of three-bedroom, semi-detached bungalows. With a strong warning to contractors not to do substandard work, the renewed Hope Estate in Oyo State is expected to be completed in 3 months.
I want to emphasize in a very strong term that we will not tolerate substandard work from any developer. We will explore all necessary legal means to ensure that they deliver the contract. If you collect government money, you must do the work.
This 250 housing units estate project will create job opportunities during the construction for mason, bricklayers, plumbers, and suppliers of building materials.
These are for the benefit of the people of Oyo State. He is a believer of Oyo State. He is a government to make life more meaningful and comfortable for the people of Oyo State.
The flag off in Oyo State marks the 8th under the second leg and 13th location since the presidential flag off in February, with a total of 3,500 housing units across the country. In Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola, NTA News.
The need to find the root cause of social behaviors initiated by corruption will be a lasting solution to corruption being experienced across various strata of the economy. This was the view of speakers at Actualizing Behavior Change series, organized by the Nigerian Institute of Social and Economic Research, NISA, in conjunction with Mark Arthur Foundation. Yemisi Ajagun has the details.
Themed a gender-lensed view into citizens' lived experiences of corrupt behavior in Nigeria, the panelists unanimously agreed there is need to understand the underlying issues, dimensions, and motivations for corrupt behavior in order to help provide the framework for developing behavioral solutions.
All of that, how does it relate to women and men differently? All towards having or finding solution for the problem of corruption.
Corruption, as the research has found out, affects more women than it does men. They are the most vulnerable, they are the least included.
When we look at the gender lens, it's not just being male and female, it's the intersection of their ages, their education, their occupation, and what those things bring to the table when they interact with government agencies.
The gender-themed policy engagement provides an opportunity to explore the unique experiences of women, young and older demographics in their interactions with government officials and authority figures in society. Drawing from experiences of victims, the panelists say developing solutions to curb corruption, the responsibility stood with the government, with suggestions on needs to develop better structure with clear rules and effective penalties for corruption. NISA Actualizing Behavior Change ABC series is one of the flagship programs of NISA's Behavior Change Knowledge Center.
Those are the trendy reports from Ibadan. This hour nationwide continues with Informa at our Abuja studios after this break. Stay with us.
Ondo State's Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa has reassured retirees in the state of prompt payment of their monthly pensions, while also addressing the backlog of gratuities. This was during the flag-off ceremony of the second batch of bulk payments of outstanding gratuities to local government and primary school retirees in Akure. Abiola Ariyo reports.
The 2012 batch of local government and primary school retirees has long awaited this day as their years of perseverance, prayers and expectations have finally been rewarded with this payment. 80-year-old Pa Johnson Oshunyemi, who is the chairman of the Nigeria Union of Pensioners in Ondo State, reached out to pensioners ahead of this meeting, advising them to set attainable goals on how to spend the gratuities.
We have a very passionate governor
who is very passionate about the affairs of the pensioners. He doesn't want us to suffer, and he has been assuaging our problems.
We've been on this thing since 2011. It's victory at last.
Governor Aiyedatiwa began the systematic and periodic payment of the backlog of gratuities owed pensioners in November 2023, emphasized that his administration prioritizes the welfare and well-being of the senior citizens.
These flag off and the principles adopted to pay the first set of retirees are a testament to our determination to change the narratives and erase the negative impression that the payment of gratuity to pensioners is entirely discretionary and meant for those who are well connected and located within the power equation of the state.
It will be remembered that in January 2024, the state government disbursed 1,200 million naira for 2014 pensioners of the state civil service. In Akure, Abiola Rio, NTA News.
The 9 governors of the oil-rich Niger Delta region have passed a vote of confidence in President Tinubu for embarking on what they described as legacy projects and pledged effective collaboration with the Niger Delta Development Commission for more infrastructure delivery. The governors, who double as members of the Advisory Council of the Commission, say the new management of NDDC has performed up to expectations and want it to navigate through the waters in ensuring that the region receive a desired facelift for rapid socio-economic development.
So it was a very convivial meeting, and members were excited and happy, motivated, preparatory to the upcoming summit on Friday in Port Harcourt, where the governors are also expected to meet with other critical stakeholders in advancing the cause of unity, development of Niger Delta region.
Our president is actually very, very committed to ensuring that all the ongoing and abandoned projects in the region are completed. As you can see, just in commemoration of Mr. President's 1-year anniversary, we commissioned laudable projects and legacy projects. So we are still working on commissioning more and also finishing the remaining ones.
Chairman Progressive Governors Forum, Hope Uzodinma, during the closed-door session, was elected chairman of the Niger Delta Governors Forum, while Bayelsa and Cross River governors got the positions of vice chairman and secretary of the forum. Minister of Transportation, Senator Said Alkali, and members of the Senate and House of Representatives Committee on Transportation have inspected the ongoing railway modernization project along Kano to Kaduna. They say the level of work done so far is satisfactory, promising to make funds available for timely completion of rail projects across the country. Vivian Izadife reports.
The role of transportation in the development and growth of the nation has been re-emphasized as the Minister of Transportation, Senator Saidu Alkali, and the Joint Committee members on Land Transportation visited the ongoing modernization of the rail project from Kano to Kaduna. While speaking to journalists after a ride from Kano to Mekarfi in Kaduna, the legislator said there will be further discussions on some of the issues hindering the progress of the project, and they will also ensure speedy dispensation of funds for the timely completion of the project before the deadline.
We intend to discuss the DMO, the Minister of Finance, the Attorney General of the Federation, and of course the Minister of Transportation, because we have oversight on railways, and we will do whatever is humanly possible to ensure that this project is completed in time.
There's a lot that we have seen, and a lot more, much more needs to be done, because railway transportation is very, very important to the growth and development of every nation.
By the time we get to the budget session, most of the issues the rest of the project are seen by themselves. That will make it much more easier for us to defend what the ministry is doing in terms of the railway modernization.
They, however, emphasized that the ongoing modernization of the transportation system is a priority of the federal government, which is under the Renew Hope agenda. Vivian Ezadifi.
The Apapa Command of the Nigeria Customs Service says no transit container will be allowed to exit the port without 100% non-intrusive inspection. At the presentation of the command's mid-year report, the area controller Babatunde Olomu said this move is to prevent attempts by smugglers to use bonded terminals to perpetuate illegalities. Michael Olaleye reports that within the months under review, this service intercepted 11 containers and generated more than 1 trillion naira.
These are 3 out of the 11 seized containers filled to the brim with frozen poultry products and are stipulated in Schedule 3 of the revised import prohibition list. The 7,580 cartons imported from Italy raised serious health concerns.
Chemicals used in the preservation of corpses and dead bodies are mostly injected into these products to extend their shelf lives. And this is why we have incidents of cancer here and there.
Just last week, the command said it intercepted a large quantity of expired and unregistered pharmaceutical products spread across 3 40-foot containers. And the customs said this action is imperative in the quest to safeguarding public health and safety.
This is hydrocortisone cream. And from the label too, it's also expired March 2024. If this is allowed to go into the country, what they will have done would be to change the labels and put it back on the shelf.
We are saving what will have gone into circulation and will have destroyed lives. It wouldn't just destroy them by killing them immediately, but, effects on end organs like kidney, liver, being gradually, destroyed.
Apart from increasing surveillance against unwholesome importation, the Apapa Command said it's generated about 1.1 trillion naira from January to June 2024, representing 143% increase from last year. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
Experts in the health sector advocate for pragmatic approach by government at all levels in containing communicable and non-communicable diseases through research, innovation, and closing of infrastructural deficits. This was during a public hearing on 3 health-related bills by the Senate Committee on Health. National Assembly correspondent Issa Mohammed has more.
As the popular saying goes, health is wealth. Experts say the government at all levels must take deliberate measures in containing both communicable and non-communicable diseases to reduce mortality rate in Nigeria. They noted that closing infrastructure deficits, research and capacity building will no doubt reduce overstretching of healthcare facilities, provide manpower and quality service delivery to Nigerians.
In Nigeria today, you find that about 80% of those who are blind are either those blindness conditions can either be treated or can be prevented. And in treating them, you need to develop human capital.
Each of these 3 tiers of government should be able to do their responsibility to ensure healthy country.
The committee assures the public that all contributions to the trial bills will be considered based on merits for quality legislation that will add value to the lives of the citizens.
In similar light, it will also bring healthcare closer to the people at a reduced cost compared to private hospitals.
The Nigerian healthcare industry faces challenges associated with outbound medical tourism, inadequate medical personnel, and deteriorating medical infrastructure.
The objective of this bill is to prevent, diagnose, and treat eye diseases, coordinate research in eye diseases, and train specialists in eye diseases.
Enacting health laws at this time is necessary to meet the ailing infrastructure and personnel demands in the sector necessitated by our growing population, emerging diseases, and the need for our manpower, infrastructure, and intellectual development.
The three bills under public hearing are a bill for an act to establish Federal Orthopedic Hospital Toro in Northeast, that of Infrastructural Development Agency Enugu Southeast, and National Eye Center Establishment Bill 2024, Doma Nasarawa State, North Central Nigeria. From the National Assembly, Isa Muhammad, NTA News.
Meanwhile, in his ongoing efforts to support the training of qualified healthcare professionals in Nigeria, Labour Party presidential candidate and former governor of Anambra State, Peter Obi, paid a solidarity visit to Grimmard Catholic College of Nursing Sciences in Ayingba, the Kina local government area of Kogi State. Correspondent Ayodele Ibigbemi reports.
At Grimmard Catholic College of Nursing Sciences, Ayingba, Peter Obi, the former governor of Anambra State, was received by the Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Ida, Most Reverend Anthony Adaji. Peter Obi stated that his visit is a continuation of his support for the education sector, particularly for colleges of nursing sciences in Nigeria. He emphasized that the health sector is a critical contributor to national development and encouraged the people to invest in the human infrastructure of the health sector, focusing on the training and support for healthcare professionals.
We are not doing this for them. We are doing it for ourselves. By investing in the youth, by investing in them, we have a critical support.
He has come here to demonstrate his passion for education, a passion to develop young talents for the future. That is what governance is supposed to be. So his visit here is an enormous encouragement to our young people.
Following the visit, Peter Obi donated 10 million naira to the college. This is to support the training of students and to create a more conducive learning environment for the nursing students. Ayodele Ibigbemi.
And next is sports updates.
We begin with the 2024 Paris Olympics as the Minister of Sports Development, John Eno, has stated that Team Nigeria is primed for success and has no excuse to fail as the nation counts down to the start of the Olympic Games in Paris. 87 athletes have been confirmed by the sports minister to represent Team Nigeria in 12 sports.
We want to overcome and to go beyond our performance in Atlanta 1996, but we want to do so in a clean way, in a clean manner.
Still in the Olympics, but now football. Ahead of the official kickoff of the 2024 Paris Olympics, the Super Falcons head coach Randy Waldrum has named Ifeoma Onumonu as a replacement for the injured Halimatu Ayinde, while Regina Otu has been called up to the alternate list for the games. Still on football, having seen Spain qualify for the finals of the Euro 2024 with a thrilling 2-1 win over France on Tuesday night, attention will now shift to the match between England and Netherlands, scheduled to be played Wednesday night. The winner of the clash will be looking to fight for the European title against Spain. And finally, defending champions Argentina booked their place in the Copa America final after goals from Julian Alvarez and Lionel Messi gave the team a 2-0 win over Canada in Tuesday's semi-final in New Jersey. Argentina will either face Uruguay or Colombia in Sunday's final in Florida, a match that could represent the last shot at silver wave for several senior squad members, including Messi, Angel Di Maria, and Nicolas Otamendi. With sports updates, Ijoma Pitawante, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu extends his heartfelt condolences to the family of the late Olaide Akinremi, the lawmaker representing Ibadan North Federal Constituency at the House of Representatives. The late Akinremi was a 2-term lawmaker and member of the All Progressives Congress APC. President Tinubu also commiserates with members of the National Assembly, friends and associates of the deceased over this profound loss. The President prays for the repose of the soul of the departed and strength to his family at this difficult time. And on that note, we conclude Nationwide for today. We thank you for being part of our production. I am Ifoma Wajinta. Bye for now.